Okay. Oh, my camera's all off kilter. We got to fix that. How is everybody today? Tell me something good. That's the new phrase I need to say. Instead of how is everybody, tell me something good. And if you're here watching but you haven't spoke up in the chat, please do so because I'd love to know who's watching. We're going to do some gel printing today. One of my followers and friends, Michelle, we call her Glitter on here on YouTube, said do more gel printing. So I thought I would do that. These are some of the things I made a few weeks ago. Some of these are just cleaning up my gel plate, playing around with paint. Some of these are where we made patterns and we used stencils, and sometimes the paint didn't cooperate, so we just did what we could with what we have. Hey, Beverly, welcome. Oh, yay! Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry you're not feeling well, Moonstone. I hope you feel better. That's going around. There's lots of people that are not well at the moment, so we're gonna start this off a little differently for me on my show because I don't always do this. I'm gonna say that I say a little prayer. So, dear Heavenly Father, I want to thank you and praise you for the opportunity for me to come here with my friends and family to share some crafty goodness and hopefully some positivity and inspiration. I know that many are hurting in many different ways. It could be financially, health, spiritually, mentally, all of those things. Lord, I just ask that you be with everybody that connects today to this live stream, whether it be in a recording in the future or they're here right now. And I ask that you be with my friend Robin and her family because we know it's in your hands, and we've given her up to you and the doctors. And of course, right now the doctors are saying it's not a very good prognosis. So Lord, be with her family to have comfort through this whole ordeal. Lord, I thank you and praise you for the many blessings that you give us. Amen. Amen. Yeah, so Robin, I'm just going to gloss over it really quick. Robin is basically in congestive heart failure with COPD as well as acute edema, as well as a urine infection, as well as a pneumonia. I just came from the hospital a couple hours ago. I've been going up there every day. Okay, I'm trying to be positive. Trying to be positive. The doctor contacted Robin's daughter and said you need to make arrangements to come see her before she passes. So it's not a good prognosis. Here's what I'm going to say. Number one, if you smoke, stop smoking. Stop smoking right this second. I don't care if you've been smoking 12 packs a day or one cigarette a day. Stop smoking. If you feel that you can't do it without a replacement, get that replacement. There are, in Oklahoma, we have a 1-800 number to quit smoking. You could call it and they will give you 2 months of help aids to help you, whether that be nicotine patches or something like that. So stop smoking. Whatever you do, stop smoking. Number two, eat better foods. Make better food choices. You know, there's so much garbage out there. Yes, garbage tastes yummy. It does. I'm guilty of it too. But limit what you input into your body that is considered on the bad spectrum. You know, the full of sugar, full of salt, full of garbage. I am splurging today, and I have a Coca-Cola in my cup. I put a lid on it, so hopefully I don't spill it. I haven't had a Coke in a couple of weeks. So I put a Coke in my cup for today because I felt like I wanted a little sweet, little sugar. But don't do it every day. It's not good for you. And if you don't feel well, get help. whether it be calling a friend to say, hey, I need to go to the doctor and I need help getting there, or calling the doctor and calling that doctor and be persistent about getting in. I know that our healthcare is so overrun right now, overworked, and it's very difficult for them to see all the patients that they have. So be persistent and tell a friend or a family member so they can help you be persistent, so you have an advocate to help you with that. And don't let it go. If there's something going on, don't let it go. Don't let it fester. Don't let it get worse. Because there is help out there. You just got to go get it. Okay? Well, thank you so much. I see Paper Puddles is here, and Julie, and Jennifer, and Moonstone. I don't know who else is here, but I haven't seen them. So thank you so much, Carrie. So good to see you. Yeah, thank you so much for being a part of my life. So I thought I would do some gel printing on different gel plates. I've got Carrie. Oh, I just realized. Carrie, remember you sent me an 8x10 plate? I still have it. Here's my original 5x7. Here's a 5x5. I also found that I didn't get it out though. I think I have a 6x6 and I have some, I think they call them minis. They're little beady ones. So we've got a few here. I thought I would start with using some paints that I've had for a while. So I've got a whole bunch of different shades of green over here. So I'm just going to grab three. Just 3 shades of green. Oh, I haven't got my mop-up papers. I got my water over here. I've got some stencils. All right. Mop-up paper. I need some. I'm a little frazzled because I've been taking care of Robin's cats and trying to clean her apartment in the hopes that she would get to come home. But it unfortunately, unless God chooses to perform a miracle in the next day or so, that doesn't appear to be the case that's going to happen. All right, I'm just going to get some copy paper. I just don't feel like digging around for book pages at the moment. Okay. You don't own one anymore? Oh, hello, Angela. Welcome. All right, so I got 3 different shades of green. They may not go together. One's kind of a turquoisey, one's more of a lime green, and one's more of a dark, it's called olive green. These are what I call craft paints. They aren't the heavy body acrylic paints, but these are just regular acrylic paints. And I think I'm going to put my hair up. Earlier I was cold, so I was wearing a little sweater. And then as the day has progressed, I've gotten a little bit warmer. So I'm going to put my hair up in a little clippy. And I didn't even put my nails on today, so you don't even get to see that. Aw. You need this lecture. I eat everything bad. I already have lung cancer and had chosen not to have treatment. My life is in God's hands. That's exactly. Yeah, it's you just have to choose to eat better, to get rest. Robin is in Integris Heart Hospital in Oklahoma in an ICU, and she has been intubated. She went in on Thursday, November the 20th. And at first I thought she was going to get better, but now they're saying that she doesn't appear to be getting better. She's starting to deteriorate, and they have said to go ahead and make arrangements for the family to come visit. All right, so I just put some dots all over. Got a soft rubber brayer over here to the side. I've got a bucket of water. I do use what's it called? Thieves cleaner. I have a little bit left. I need to buy some more in the water to help clean everything. Oh, you don't know which one on the balcony and they're having hot weather? Yeah, Julie, they could melt out there. So as soon as you can, I would bring those boxes inside and see if you can find your gel plate. All right, this is making a mess, but we're just going to go with it. I'm going to go ahead and coat both of these gel plates, these two that I have right here in front of me. And I think I haven't done this in a while, so I am going to get some bubble wrap. There it is. I've got a little box of bubble wrap here, so I'm going to find one. Sometimes it's perforated, but sometimes it's not. That'll work. I'll just get a little piece of that. Okay, so I'm going to pop this on to the gel plate and lift some of that paint. And let's do the same thing over here. If you have the work surface and you can put out some paper to the side, you can take what's on the bubble wrap and put it onto that paper. I'm going to try to put some of it onto this other gel plate here. And see if it transfers. Oh, I just stuck my arm in the paint. That's what I do. Oh, you got the ads right. Go get your boxes of stuff and bring them in, Julie, because your gel plates will melt if it's hot outside. All right, so I put the bubble wrap over here, so it's got a little bit of a texture, and then these have texture as well. Taking a moment for it to dry, so while I'm waiting on that, I'm going to slide these up. That's the good thing about having multiple gel plates, that you can just kind of play around and keep going. So since we're kind of doing the same color scheme, the green, I think I'm gonna do this a little bit different. I'm gonna add a light green here. We're gonna go to this tealy green, and let's do this darker green. All right, so I'm going to brayer the light first. I may have put too much paint, but that's okay. I'm just going to brayer it off onto a scrap of paper over here to the side, and then kind of go back and forth and blend those. It'll make an interesting paper. Now we're going to do this darker olive. I don't know why I chose that color. It's just what I grabbed. All right. Let's see what this looks like, just for the fun of it, right? Because that's the beauty about gel printing. If you want, you can just sit here and apply paint to the gel plate and then immediately pick it up. Or you can do some layering techniques. That's what I'm going to do with these other gel plates. Oh no, you can't find stuff? Oh, you just got to practice. That's it. You just got to practice. Aw, you're... Yay! Well, I'm glad you like this. And you know, it's just having fun with paint in a gel plate. You don't have to purchase the fancy ones. You can make your own. I don't recommend it because they do mold. But if you get the purchased ones, I do recommend that you cover it when you're not using it. I just put mine back into the case that they come in. Let's see how this looks. There's a little bit of some crusty bits, is what we call that, on the gel plate. So it got a few of the darker colors in there. But it's an interesting piece that we can use somewhere, somehow, someday. I'm going to move the Okay, so I still have this one. That green, I don't really like this shade of green, so I'm going to pop that back over here. I see this shade of green. This one's called Holly Green. Yeah, Brett, bring those boxes in. Some are too heavy. Well, you shouldn't put so much in boxes. That's another thing I'll tell y'all, ladies. If you are unable to lift things, number one, you need to strengthen your body. Find whatever works for you. I've found a couple of gals on the internet that have little videos that give you techniques on how to strengthen your body with just your body. You don't have to have tools. You just have to have the will to give it a try. Even if you can't, for example, you can't do a squat. Well, there are techniques to show you how to get the same effect of doing a squat without actually doing it. I know that sounds weird, but there is a way to do it with chair movements and using other methods. All right, I've got a spool from a thread, and I'm just going to remove paint. I'm twisting it just a little bit so it kind of helps move some of that paint. And then you need to be able to lift things. I've been doing a little bit, not as much as I should, but you should be able to do 8 push-ups. Women should be able to do a minimum of 8 push-ups. I was watching a tutorial a few days ago about that. And so I've been trying to practice. And you can do push-ups like on your kitchen counter. Just take your arms, I don't know if y'all can see me very well, and you just kind of lean on the counter and then just go into that push-up motion. Even if you don't really put all your weight into it, do those motions and keep doing it until you can do a full push-up. And then as you progress, you can alter it, make it a little bit harder to do the push-up. All right, I almost waited too long because the paint is starting to get dry, but I'm liking the way that looks. Oh, you didn't even think of writing on your craft enough? Wasn't enough information you didn't write on there? You got to write it all down, right? All right, so I think I want to do this teal color. I know it's an odd combination, but that's what I'm going to do. If I can get any paint out. Because my other goal is to try to use up some of this paint that I have an abundance of. All right, let's see what this looks like. Okay, good. I thought I didn't have enough paint. I thought I was going to have to add some more, but I think I have enough. So you don't have to have stencils. Yes, I do sell stencils, but you don't have to have stencils. Okay. Yeah, I bet it was stress. Yeah. So worried about everything. Two strong guys to help pack the craft room for me. Yeah. Yeah, it'll be like a treasure hunt. Here's what I'll suggest to you, Julie. If you can grab one box and bring it inside, if it is a big box, get you a couple of smaller boxes and transfer the items to the smaller box and write on the box what's inside. Now, in your new apartment, do you actually have a craft space, or are you having to share like the living room, dining room, or something? Because if you can start moving it into your space. Be a treasure hunt. All right, let's see what this looks like. That's kind of fun with the circles on there. What do you think? You're very welcome. So ask a neighbor Or find a young strapping man or a young lady that looks pretty strong and say, hey, can you do me a favor? Will you come over and move a couple of boxes for me? And I'm looking at my paints here. We did that shade of green. I've got a different shade. Let me see if it's the same color. This one's called grass green. And believe it or not, oh, I didn't think it had been open. It still had the thing on it. So let me shake it. Shake, shake, shake. You like that? It's kind of fun, isn't it? All right, so let's do this darker green. We'll brayer that out. That paint was a little bit runny in some spots, so I'm just going to really work that. Okay. Now, let's change up a little bit, I think. All right. I think I have different circles. So I'm going to get a few different circles. Big and small. Different types. And let's just do some. This is like a packaging for candy or something. That was years and years ago. Oh, it moved a little bit, but I'm going to try to put some little weird texture pieces. The paint is really wet, so it's moving around. So I'm just going to come across here and make some different textures. That looks good. All right, let's pick this one. No, wait, let's do this one. Okay. More texture. More. Let's do this one. Kind of go in between. And you have to work pretty quick with the craft paint because it can dry on you before you're ready. Okay, I don't think I need these tools, so I'm going to put these back in my basket. Put this back in my basket. I have some old leaves that dried up on me, so I'm trying to get rid of them. I should have thrown them away that day that I picked them. They're kind of interesting shape, though. All right, so I'm going to let this dry for a couple of minutes. So I'm going to set that over here. And let's come back to these. Since they've been sitting for a while, yeah? All right, so I have some gold paint. So let's put some gold down, and we'll lift this one in the middle. Ooh, that was a lot of gold paint. So here's my brayered off paper that I made. Ooh, that's wet. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add a little bit over here at the same time that I'm doing this one. This was relatively new paint, so it seems a little runny. All right. I'm going to do a book page. Paper. Try to put it like that. Yes! Glitter is here! Hello! Thank you for your support, Moonstone. Thank you for your donation. Thank you so much for being here. You have a very small office space, which John is using for his business. Gotcha. I think if I had to downsize, that I would look into getting a it's one of those craft cabinets that you fold in and it folds up. And I've heard of other people that got them, and they limit how much craft supplies they have based on what will fit in that little craft cabinet closet thingy bopper. And it doesn't take up a whole lot of space, but you can open it up and be able to access all your things. That turned out pretty. Look at that. It's kind of a light teal with a little bit of the darker colors. And there's still a little bit of paint on here, so we'll get some ghosting images later on. Maybe we'll use a darker color on there. All right, so on this big one, I'm thinking maybe a darker color behind it. We didn't have a lot of dark color on the other side. I can kind of see it a little bit. That's the one thing about if you use a clear block or a cutting mat, like a glass mat under your gel plate, you could always look at, if you keep it clean enough, the other side to kind of see how your gel print's going to look. I'm going to pick maybe a darker turquoise. This kind of looks like that says teal. Teal, turquoise. What's the difference, right? You lose track of what day it is. I think we all do, right? All right, so I'm going to slide this over so y'all can see that a little better. And let's put down some very runny paint. I think this is going to be one I throw away, because that is coming out a little bit on the gooey side. I'm going to give it a little bit. I've got some older golds. I'm going to put some, if I can get it open. Well, that one didn't want to open, so let's do this one again. All right, so I'm going to go over the whole gel plate a little bit with both colors. Giving it enough moisture that when we put our paper down, we should get a pretty good print. I'm going to do copy paper here. And yeah, we'll just go ahead and I like trying to mop up the edges because sometimes I can get some interesting pieces. In fact, let me, I've got a book page I'm going to add some to. And do I see another one? No, let's do this one. Just rubbing outside of where I had my papers, letting it pick up that color. You don't have enough time to keep looking? Gotcha. Don't have enough time to keep looking. You can do it. You can do it, Julie. Don't give up. Keep looking. Label your stuff. If you end up putting it in boxes or drawers, label your stuff. Oh, look at that. That's kind of a neat color. All right, let's see how this is going to turn out. That's interesting with the bubble wrap. And that darker color, it didn't spread very well. But it's still usable, you know. It may not be perfect, but we're learning. You experiment with what you have and you see what you come up with and you're like, oh, that was a neat learning opportunity. Well, here's the bigger piece with that bubble wrap. I like it. I like it a lot. Oh, well, I hope you have a nice visit with your dad. Label stuff. I know. It's a hard concept, Glitter. I think since we're still dealing with those, let's go ahead and add some paint to these. We've been progressing. I think this one's going to go in the garbage. I hate to do that, but, you know, you just can't deal with bad paint. Let's see what the color this one is. This one is Island Blue. Let's see if it's any good. Okay. And I'm going to do this lighter blue, which is it. Light turquoise. I don't know. Does anybody sell Anita's acrylic paint since Hobby Lobby doesn't anymore? I'm not sure if they are in any other stores. Sometimes acrylic paint, if it's old, it doesn't blend very well. So I should probably throw away that green, huh? That dark green from the beginning. All right, what kind of textures I'm going to apply to these? I just saw something here. I've got a piece of paper towel. And so I'm going to do some lifting. Just get some interesting texture. Oh, that one went too far. It should kind of look like a fabric. Is what I think. Yep. Here we go. That's kind of interesting look. Can you see all the wrinkles on the gel plate? That should be fun. Hobby Lobby was out of the 49 cents paint when you were there last. Yeah, they probably sell out pretty quick. All right, let's put, what color? Maybe I'll get a different shade of turquoise. I see a metallic turquoise. Let's try that. Okay. I'm going to see if I have enough paint on this plate to lift. So I'm just going to grab a piece of paper. All right, let's do this gel plate. Let's see what we get. Maybe. I don't know if Walmart sells it. Yeah, I understand if you're stressed out and you can't find stuff and then you're trying to pack and you're like, just start putting labels on everything. All right, let's do this one first. See if it's going to... I may have to give it a moment to soak up the paint. Let's see what happens. Oh, that's not too bad. So that was just some interesting with the metallics in there, getting different textures. All right. Slide it on over. Just slide it on over. Okay. Aw, well, I'm glad you're here, Michelle. I missed y'all too. Oh, that one was kind of goopy. So it's a background for sure. Maybe we'll do another section here in a minute and I'll stencil and then use this as the pickup. That might be a good idea. All right, let's see if this one is. It looks like it might have been drying enough. So do I want to use gold or silver? I think I'm going to do, let's do the gold. This one's called Pearlized Bright Gold. Okay. Hopefully I got just the right amount of paint on the gel plate so that when we go to put the paper down, it'll lift. All right, clean the brayer. And remember, when you use your brayer to turn it over or it will stick to your paper, see that line? That's where it's stuck. All right, I'm going to put this one here, like so. And then we had that partial page earlier. So this one. So sometimes what I like to do is kind of overlap them just a little. And it just creates an interesting striped gel print. And then there was one. Where is it? Did I use it already? Somewhere else? Must have done something else with it. Where did it go? Alright, so I'm just going to use this one down the side. Over here that you cannot see because I was off camera. Oh no! Those dishwashers could be cantankerous. Alright, let's see what happens when we go to remove the paper. I'm just trying to rub it down really good. When I get past my clearance, I need to pull out my gel plate again and make some pages. Yeah! Oh, yeah, like that you made for the workshop and used at the retreat? Yeah. They're fun to be able to make your own. So this is my rolling off the brayer paper. I'm just going to toss it over here. So now this has got this layered effect. Look how that gold looks through that teal. Fun. Uh-oh, Julie. Well, it'll be extra clean inside your dishwasher, right? If it's empty. Enjoy your day with your dad, Julie. All right, I'm just cleaning up the edges. All right, let's see how the big one turned out. Well, what's that noise? The dishwasher's going all rogue on you. This looks really cool using that paper towel texture. Isn't it funny where you can pull inspiration? I just saw that paper towel laying here and I thought, I wonder. And it's come up with a really neat texture. It kind of reminds me a little bit of burlap fabric because of the open weave look to it. Fun. All right, I need a drink of my soda pop. I haven't had any yet. All right, well, I think I'm going to go back and look at some of my other gel prints here. Let's go back to this one. And I got out a metallic turquoise color. And I think I'm going to grab a stencil. So let's see what I have here that I want to use. You know, for example, I could use this one and do a repeating pattern. I think that's what I'm going to do. All right. So I'm going to lay this here. And I'm going to have to work quickly because what I want to do is coat this with the paint and then pick it up pretty fast. So I'm going to have to work fast if this paint works. All right, there's one. So I'm just kind of brayer that. And then I'm going to pick this up. And I'm going to gently kind of find the repeat, which I think is right about there. Okay. So there. And then I'm going to put my stencil in the water. Put the stencil in the water, shake it around. And then I want to cover the whole thing. So I'm just going to turn it at a rectangle up and down. What is that? Portrait? And then we'll use our scrap papers around the edges. And I need to put the paint back in the container because it's starting to collect on my desk. And when it does that, then I run out of space. So you go back into the container. All right, let's rub on this some more. You love that? My feeding frenzy stencil. Say that fast a dozen times. I made that back when I was working on one of Norella's kits. I think it's called Flittering Gems. And it's all about hummingbirds. And watching hummingbirds, it's like a feeding frenzy. They just go from one flower to the next. They're just constantly going. All right, let's clean that away. It just makes interesting textures all around. All right, let's see what happens. What did we get? What did we get? Ooh. Can you see? So even though that first gel print where I had the different colors, kind of an ombre effect, putting the stencil over it gives it a cool background. So if you struggle with timing, you put down your stencil, you put the paint down, you wait for it to dry, and then you put your next layer down, and then you try to lift it, and it just isn't working out. Try doing it in the reverse, where you make your background first, and then come back and put your stencil design over the top of it. It's interesting how that turns out, huh? Okay. You know, we haven't done the green plate from earlier, so I think I'm going to give this one a little bit of a break here and swap it for this one. So here we used circles, and I have a dark green in the background there. And I think what I'm going to do for a little bit is I'm going to use this giant gel plate to oh, my glove broke. Roll off my brayer. See what I get. All right, I got another glove. I ordered some more gloves. I should be here this week because I just realized I ran out because I was using them when I was going over to Robin's house because she has cats. And I'm allergic to cats. So I was trying to figure out how can I go over there. So I found a mask and I found gloves, and I always change my clothes because I don't need to come home with cat hair and dander on me. I don't know, these 3 colors, this may be too dark, so let's do these 2 lighter colors. All right, so I'm going to put some across here. Ooh, I may be running out of that paint today. Let's see if we get any more. All right, so let's brayer. I'm trying to decide if I want to go across it to kind of really blend it, or just keep doing the side to side instead of up to down. All right. Oh, I was going to use my gel plate. Well, we still can. I started to rub it off onto a piece of paper over here. All right, we got that. Let's get some paper and pick it up. Bye, Julie. Yeah, soak the brayer in water if it ever gets a lot of paint on it. No, you can. They're pretty sturdy. I'm going back. Words are difficult. Call Me Glitter asks, can you explain the process of cleaning paint stuck onto brayer and my gel plate? Has paint on the sides and underneath because I use too much. I'm afraid to hold it up and wash it and break it. Now, if it's a gel plate brand or Jelly Arts brand, they should be really sturdy. I'm flipping this around, okay? And you can take it to the sink and wash it if it's on the sides. One thing that I will recommend is first coat it with a little bit of paint and then put some paper on top of it and leave that paper on there overnight, and that will soak up everything on that gel plate that it can. And then if there's paint crusted on the sides that you want to get rid of, get you some baby oil and put baby oil on it and make sure you work it into the sides and let that set for a while. You may have to do a couple of layers or sessions of adding baby oil to it to get it off the edges without, and it won't hurt your gel plate. It'll be good for it. Okay. Another thing you can do is I have a tub of water over to the side. So if on my, I got a piece of hair in here on this one, because it can be submerged in water, I'll just put the whole thing in there sometimes. I don't always clean the paint off of everything. On my brayer, I'll just make sure it's completely covered with water, maybe a little bit of soap, and then let it soak. And usually after a couple hours or the next day, it comes off pretty easy. You can kind of see. Sometimes it doesn't always all come off, but most of it does. This one has a little bit on it. So, just kind of take your time. Bye, Moonstone. Thanks for coming in. Yeah, gel press brand. Yeah, so you shouldn't have any problems with taking it to the sink. But I would try cleaning off as much as you can with paint, then baby powder or baby baby oil. I couldn't get the word out. And then take it to the sink and wash it. Yeah, I think that green paint was really old. It's kind of flaking. That kind of is an interesting look, especially with the different shades, the green and the blending into the other shade of green. There's still a little bit on that plate. Tools. Wherefore out there, tools. We need the tools. What do I want to do this time? I didn't use this shot glass. And what else? Oh, I have a lid to a bottle and a smaller of these spool. You can wash it in soapy water, but I would do the other things first. Then, when you wash it in soapy water, you want to put something under to support it. So get you a baking sheet or something, or an old cutting board so it'll hold it, so that when you pick it up to wash it, you don't actually accidentally stab through it. Do not use any tools to scrub it. Just use your fingers. Don't dig your fingernails into it. I would even recommend wearing gloves so you know that you're being a little more gentle than digging your fingernails in to get that off there. You just want it done. You're sitting at your kitchen counter. Sitting on your kitchen counter. Yeah, well then do it. Quit sitting there talking about it, Michelle. Get in there and do it, lady. If you just don't want to do what I said, then just stick it in the sink and wash it. But I would recommend after you wash it to put baby oil on it. All right, I'm going to change colors. I've got this really dark blue, and I think if I remove the paint from it, then I can come back with lighter colors, kind of like we did here. I may even get some of the same tools. So it'll be a dark background, and then all of the circles could be a lighter color. That's what I'm doing. All right, so we got this one. Yeah. I got a dark blue here, if this will work. You're welcome. Just get it done. Quit procrastinating. I'm trying to figure out, more about myself and over the years and things. In some things, I'm a procrastinator. I just put it off. And some things, I'm bored with it, so I'm going to move on to something else. So learning about yourself to figure out, what is that motivates you to take care of business, so to speak, is important, because you got to figure out, how do I get things done? What do I do to motivate myself to get things done? I'm just going to do random patterns here. Okay, I'm just removing paint. All right, I haven't used this yet, so let's do, trying to remove some of the paint. I got a little bit. There's a little bit on the cap, so I'm going to put it over here on the gel plate. All right, and then I want this one, I think. I think in the center of that looks kind of cool to have the circle, concentric, is that the right word? Concentric circles. I'm having fun just making circles. I think I want something smaller. Maybe like, a pen cap type of a thing. I don't think I have a flat pen. I have, I have a glimmer mist. So I'm going to do this. Let's see what happens if I can get little bitty circles. Maybe I could use a pencil, like a pencil eraser. I wonder if I have one over here that I can use. I have a drawer that says pens. Do you think pencils would be in there? I don't have a drawer that says pencils. I do not. And I may be too late because if I wait too long, I won't be able to. But I could use a chopstick. I see a chopstick. All right, so I'm going to use a chopstick. Oh! All right, try to move. I'm just kind of twisting it to help remove some of the paint. And I'm using a heavy body paint. I'm not making a pattern. I don't know what I'm doing. That's what's the fun about gel printing. You're like, I wonder, will this work? And you do it and you're like, well, sorta. Or wow, now what did I do? The good thing about when I do it, I usually record it. So I can always go back and watch my video of what I did. All right, I think that's going to be enough texture. I'm going to put my chopstick in my tools bin. And let's set this aside to dry for a little bit. Because I want it to be dry when we come back in with some more color. All right, so I've been just brayering over this. Let's see what happens if I remove some of the paint. Because we're building layers. Building the layers. And I think this is Victorian cross stitch stencil. So I'm just going to stencil it in a couple of spots. All right, so we used a darker color. I'm going to use this dark turquoise and see how it looks. Oh, I got tools over here that need to go over here. All right, so I just wanted to put a little bit in that corner. And since I've got this gel plate laying here, I'm going to lay it down. And why not just roll off? Whoop! I almost wore it. Roll off the brayer. Clean the brayer. So now that's building this layer over here. So put that in the water. All right, let's find a different stencil. What do we got? What do we got here? Kind of mess is what I got. Oh, this one's kind of fun because it's the stars. This is a quilted starburst. I have misplaced my Art Deco stencil that I really like, so I need to find it. This one. I found the holder, but the stencil wasn't in it. So I guess I'm going to have to look to see if I have some more made at the shop or ask Henry to cut some stencils for me. Missing all the fun? Oh no, what are y'all doing? You're making hubby's lunch? I hope you feel better. Pain and exhausted. No one ever says at the end of life, gee, yeah. More all the cleaning we've done, right? No one ever says at the end of their life, gee, I wish I would have spent more time cleaning. No. No. I don't need this color. I want a different color. I see a darker blue. So I'm going to put the stencil this way. Okay, put that back up here. I don't know why. It's a habit of going the wrong direction. I'm just adding texture everywhere. All right, so let's do this stencil over here. Kind of lay this where I can rolling. We're rolling right away. Okay, clean the stencil. All right, so that square, I think I had, I wonder if I'm quick enough. Oh, here it is. So I got this square, so I'm going to try to line it up as best I can. Scoot you. Let's see if I waited too long. Maybe we're lucky and I'll be able to transfer that. Okay, we're getting there a little at a time. It's not perfect, but I like it. I didn't get it lined up all the way, but that looks pretty good over that background. Yes, it does. All right, I'm going to let that sit because I may want to add some more stenciling to it later. Okay, and this one needs to dry. So, running out of space. That's what I do. All right, we got this one and this one. I think I want to see if I can find, we've got a dark blue here, and we have a middle turquoise metallic, I think. So I've got a paler, let me see if this one's almost empty, so that may be what I do. Because these are the same color. So if I did a little bit of turquoise in a couple of spots, I've got this lime-ish green. I kind of have I think this is either lavender or hyacinth. This is lavender. So let me shake this up a little bit. Shake, shake, shake your body. Shake your body, love. Shake, shake, shake your body. Shake it all the time. All right. I don't know if that's really getting shook up. Come on. Are you not any good anymore? Well, it looks like it has separated, but we'll see. All right, so do I want to do this where I plop paint down in sections or do it as an ombre? Okay, so I'm going to move this one over. And here's what I think I'm going to do. Is I'm going to put some paint down in a couple of spots. This is probably way too much paint. So I'm just going to brayer in a couple of spots. And then this one right here. And then just kind of clean my brayer off on the other gel plates. I'm just using a smaller brayer so I don't go beyond my borders. I think this one is empty, or if it's not, it's really close to being empty. Okay, so we're getting layers. I'm gonna put down some of this green. All right, so this time I want to go over and cover the whole thing so that I know that I've got color behind everything. Okay. I know it looks like a mess from this side, but it's going to look so different on the other side. All right. Let's get paper. Love metallics. I like the metallics too. Metallic paints can be fun to play with. All right, let's do this one. All right, so on this one, do I want to... Let's do this. I'm going to do this paper towel technique again. And I think it's just wide enough. They can do it over the whole thing. Oh, yeah. And then I just kind of lift some of the color. All right, let's put the blues back. I'm kind of thinking maybe a purple behind here. I have a big bottle of purple I need to use. It may be too dark. I'm going to do it anyway. Seeing I got paint on the table. Oh well. It happens. Paint happens. I'm not gonna have a really long session today because emotionally I'm just really drained at the moment. So if there is a technique you want me to try or do, speak up. And if I have the tools and paint colors or whatever, I'll try to do something here. All right, I'm just going to let this sit for a moment on this one. Since we started with this one, I'm going to slide it on over. And we'll come to those in a moment. There was a lot of paint on here, it looks like, because it's wrinkling up my paper. A lot of moisture. But I think it's an interesting look. It's not a perfect print unless this is what you were going for, a distressed look. And I don't know if y'all can see the colors clearly. It kind of looks like maybe you're zoomed in on some microscopic things, or you're zoomed out to the sky. And those are all little planets. We still have some crusty bits. I'm going to leave the crusty bits. We'll come back to that. We'll do another layer or something over them. Maybe next time I'll just add some more texture in a different color and see how that comes out. I like this one. It's really grungy in the background. You know, this is a second print. So the first one we put on top of another gel print. So this is more of a ghost image. So it's really kind of lighter in the background, but we get a little bit of metallic popping through. So this will make a fun little pocket or an element on the journal card. Now let's go to this one. And then we got to go back to the big gel point, the gel plate. And this one. Maybe what I do is add some more texture. All right, let's see how this one turned out. Ooh, I like the purple. It kind of took away some of the boldness of the other colors, but it's still there. You still see a little bit of the metallic gold in the background. You see a little metallic teal, and then there's that wallpaper, or not wallpaper, paper towel texture in there. It's different. All right, let's look at this. It looks like this guy on this side is still a little wet. So I think, you know, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to barely touch the paper towel, and that'll pick up some of the paint. And so maybe that'll dry a little bit faster. I don't have a lot of texture over here or over here. Let's see what I have over here that we could use. This is one of my dryer balls broke, and this is to help keep your laundry more fluffy. I'm just removing some of the paint. It's kind of interesting with the little round dots. Okay, that's something. That's something. You know what I could do is I need another darker color, and maybe I could use this lid to transfer over. Maybe I'll transfer it as circles. So what color would we want to use? I've got a really dark purple here. So I'm thinking this dark purple. This one's called Violet. So I'm going to put a little bit over here on my gel plate and brayer it out a little. And then let's see what happens if I can get... Ooh, that might be fun. So I'm just stamping. And that's another thing I could do. Is I've got some stamps I could get out. Trying to decide what color I should use to pick all of this up without it degrading what we're doing. You had to go find Zippy? I'm having fun, can you tell? Alright, so since we have this purple over here, I'm just making a few marks. Alright, let's see what happens if I do it on the other side. Just making marks. I like it. I'm in my own zone. So if you're talking to me and I have not replied, I'm sorry. Oh dear. Okay, I'm liking this. So I think, should I mix a color maybe? I have a different shade of purple here. It's, I think this one's Rouge. Rouge. Sometimes people have to run off, you know. Julie had to go visit her papa. And I know that Manda Dawn's usually working right now, and she will chime in when she's on her way home. She usually just kind of listens. I'm trying to get a little paint out here. All right, come on. This paint must be old. It's got a weird consistency. Oh, okay. I'm going to go back to this little lid that I used earlier. I'm just going to do it a couple times. It didn't do what I thought it was going to do. This was just kind of, it was a thought. It's not, I thought it would be a little bit more solid. Da 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 da. Ooh, we're making little marks all over the gel plate. Okay. I'm gonna clean my lid off a little. It got dirty. I'm sure I've told this before that dish towels' second life is in my craft room. So whenever we have dish towels in the kitchen that are looking a little worse for wear, we'll push them aside. I usually do it. And then I'll bring them into my craft room. What do I want to use now? I'm kind of liking how this is looking. And here's the thing. You got to think about when you do all these layers, what color you're going to use when you go to lift your pattern. And the color you choose behind does make a difference. Oh, I'm liking how the metallics look. I'm trying to decide if I want gold or if I need to add a little bit more texture to it. I've got this that I started here, so I'm going to add a little bit lighter color because it's still kind of wet. And I'm going to see if I can mix kind of my own shade of paint. I think that would be good. All right, so now I've got a little bit different shade there. So I'm going to get a different tool and pick up some paint and see what happens. It kind of works, so I'm just going to do it a few more times. Different textures, here we go. Different textures, here and go. Okay. We're getting there. All right, I'm going to go ahead and brayer this all the way over our little gel plate that I have been using kind of as a stamp pad. And it's a nice shade of purple. So I think what I'm going to do is just go ahead and put paper over it. You see that shade of purple? And let it set until I can lift it. And I'll have a nice little background that I can use. So you get to rest, my friend. All right, set you over here. Decisions. What decision should I make on this giant gel plate? Oh, I was a poet and didn't know it. Should I do a... I'm kind of thinking maybe I can do a little bit of some gold and maybe a lavender color. Because then all the texture should show up with the light color, and the gold is kind of a light transparent color as well. All right, so I've got, let's do, I'm trying to decide, do I do the heavy body paint or the craft paint? Let's do the heavy body. I dropped some goop. Okay. Texture and then gold. Glitter wants me to use gold. All right, I'm going to put a little bit of purple Not very much, just in a couple of spots. And I think we'll do this one too. Okay. And then I'm going to clean off, need my big brayer. I'm going to kind of roll this a little. And then go over here. And clean off the brayer over here. Now I'm going to grab some gold. All right, so now I'm just going to kind of mix these together. Come on, let's go. I think it's going to be very, very interesting. The key is to try to get enough paint over the whole plate that activates those dried layers of paint. So we'll get a good print. All right, paper. Here we go. I'm going to put this right here. Let that soak it up. Oh, I didn't get it perfectly straight, but that's okay. All right, put the purple back over here so I can find it another day. Okay, put this one down right about here. Put this one up here. Okay, and then I had a page that I was kind of going down the side. I'll just use this one. Press it to the gel plate. Yes, we do. Trying to get all of that excess off the edges. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there a little at a time. Thank you so much. Mixed gold and metallic with lavender paint. That's kind of what I did, isn't it? All right, I need this one here. This may need to set a little bit longer. Yeah, I'm going to leave it just a little bit longer. Stay just a little bit longer. Oh, please, won't you stay? Aw, thank you, Jennifer. You're so sweet. That's an old comment. I wasn't up to date, was I? Okay, let's see what this... Oh, it needs more time. You have to be patient, Grasshopper. Got to have the patience. Let's see how this purple over here was doing. Okay. Woo! Look at that purple. And it's kind of cool because it has this weird petal effect. And again, you may not be able to see it very well on the camera, but it's kind of an interesting color. You know, what would be kind of have fun was to paint the colors to make it look like a geode. We could do that with the glitters, the glitters, the metallic paints. You know what? I'm just going to do something here. All right, let me make sure. I need to put water in my vessel. Got to put water in the vessel. You and me are going round and round. Supplies. Get over there. All right, put some water in here. So when I'm done... Wait, why aren't you working? And I got a paintbrush. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put some metallic silver, because whatever is the last layer on the plate is what you're going to see on your paper. The thing that you put on last is what's going to be the back of your paper. So here's what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just making marks. So I put down some silver metallic, and I'm going to clean my brush. Wipe my brush off with water. I've got a towel over here to the side. Hey, Creative Nana. Amethyst, the birthstone. That's February. All right, so I'm going to put a little bit of this gold. And I'm just going to kind of fill in. But I'm okay that it's not perfect. All right. It's kind of removing some of the paint, but I just think it's going to be a neat effect. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Clean the paintbrush. I'm going to let this dry for a moment. And let's come back over here and see if these have set long enough. Thank you so much for being here, everybody. I greatly appreciate your support, and just being here. It always brightens my day, regardless of whatever is going on. I always, think, oh, I've got to do this, and then, oh, wow, y'all come on, and you just make me feel good. I like this one. Oh, what did we do? How did we do that? Let's rewind. It didn't get all the paint, but it got quite a bit of it. I can leave it just a little bit longer. Give it a little longer. I like the way this piece turned out. Doing the gold and that lighter purple in the back of all these other pieces looks really good. There's a little bit of paint right here that wasn't coming up, so I'm trying to see if it will stick to my paper. Stick, please. Yeah, it's not quite there yet. All right, we're going to get that a little bit longer, but I sure like how that turned out. Isn't it awesome? Thank you. That's just making marks and stencils and adding paint and just doing stuff. Okay. Oh, this one has a couple of wet areas too, so I'm going to put it back. It's thinking about it. It's thinking. It's trying to get it done. Oh, you're no problem. Zippity-doo-dah, yeah. No, if you're in a hurry, take it to the sink. But if you want to do it right, clean it with some paint, lift it, and then do the baby oil. I need to do baby oil on my edges again. I like how that turned out. All right, this one may have actually dried a lot quicker. I'm thinking I'm going to print it on this purple. So to get that to lift onto there, I'm going to get some gel medium. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do the gel. I don't have the liquid gel medium. I have a big old tub. Oh, this is gloss gel, but same difference. Gel mediums. I used to have some gel medium, but I think I'm out. It probably dried up, or I used it all. And I haven't gone over to Michael's, because they're the only ones that have a coupon anymore, to see if I could get some more. Because I know, like y'all, we got budgets. We can't always just go willy-nilly on spending money. That's probably enough, because this isn't a very big plate. Trying to clean off around the edge. Last time I didn't, and the little lid kind of sticks. There. Alright. Clean it off. Put it away. Alright, let's brayer this. And it may blur it a little bit, but I think I'm going to like the look. We'll see. Alright, now, if I can line this up, I might someday invest in one of those corner pieces so you can always line up, but I don't know yet. Thank you for being here, Zippy. All right, I'm going to let that set and see if this one is good enough. We may just have to go with it. Oh, it did get more of the paint. That's good. Look at that. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. That's really cool. All right, I got to put the lid back on. I think it's on crooked. Come on, go on straight. Okay. I like it. I love it. I like the way that turned out. I think doing the different textures and then using that metallic gold with the lavender. And it's real shiny paper because of the paints that I used. Isn't that gorgeous? I love it. This may be one I will scan into my computer because I really like how that turned out. All right. Let's see how this one is doing. Well, did you like what I did today? Are you getting some ideas of using your gel plate? I hope you have. Thank you for being here, Zippy. Let's see if this one's going to come up pretty good. We got most of it. And this is a completely different look with the different backgrounds in there. I mean, we kind of did them at the same time, but I didn't put the stencil patterns on this one. I like the stencil patterns. I think it just adds another layer. Which could do is this technique where I put down stencil designs and either just direct lift it to this page or layer it with clear paint and do it over it. But I kind of like the way this one turned out too. We'll come back and look at all of the prints here in just a moment. I don't know what I'm going to do next week. It kind of depends on what's going and happening in my life. I may do some more mixed media or gel printing. If that's something you want me to do, let me know. It's kind of, I don't have to think about it a whole lot. It's the least amount of stress. I think this is interesting. A little more opaque than I thought it was going to be. But it's kind of an interesting look to it. And using the gel helped it transfer to be clear. So I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it. But maybe it's one of those things that we'll stencil again over it to add more to it. I think I'm going to be done for the day. So I'm going to go ahead and put this gel plate in the water so it can start soaking. And I'm going to soak my sprayers as well. Try not to do it on top of the gel plate. Okay. This is one of my mop-ups where I just rolled my brayer over to the side. Let's go back to some of our prints here. We made a few today. Okay. So this is doing different layers on my rectangular gel print. And this was a ghost print, so there was still a little bit of that quilted starburst, I think that's what it's called, in the background, and I just added some paint over the top of it. And here's where I just doing texture in a dark paint and then adding a different color scheme behind it. I'm going to save this one for last because we really like them. Here's that first print. So if you put them together, you kind of see. And this one I printed on top of an existing gel print that we made. So if you have a gel print that you're not real happy with, keep adding layers to it. Here's another mop-up paper. So this one I could come back next time I do some texture or stencil pieces and add to that. Using all the circles. Yeah, the ghost prints are fun, aren't they? Oh, I am sorry, Nana. It has been a week. I don't know if you know, I've been taking care of Robin's cat. She's been admitted to the hospital, and I didn't ever email you. I know you sent one, so I apologize. I just haven't sat down at my computer to write it out. I have to write it out in the computer. I like how this one, when I stenciled it over an existing gel print, that we kind of did the ombre in the background, and I was like, yeah, it's not that pretty. But once you put the metallic teal over the top of it, it gives it a whole new look. I think this is one of my favorite new techniques that I haven't done in a long time, and that was putting down the turquoise paint and then taking a textured paper towel. So mine just happens to have some texture to it. I think I don't know where this one came from. That's just weird because it doesn't match the paper towel I have. Anyhow, and I just laid it on the gel plate and picked up paint. Then let that dry, and I used gold metallic behind it. And so all these little wrinkles and lift areas are a gold. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much, Nana. All right, here's another where I just mop up the edges. And I like how that just creates a line. It's kind of fun to make a whole page like this. I didn't do it today. And this was brayering off my gold metallic just to clean it off over the top of a bubble wrap page. So it's got some cool texture to it. And here's a bubble wrap page. I didn't like that dark olive. It didn't want to spread very well. So you kind of have to think about, hey, how are you, Austin? You have to think about your paint too. If it's old, you may want to brayer some out onto a scrap of paper or another gel plate to see if it's going to roll, and then apply it off of that instead of squirting paint directly onto your gel plate. Just things you learn, right? This is a book page that has a bubble wrap that we lifted with gold metallic paint. I love the way the look this came out. Yeah, some of the metallics, yeah, for ghosting prints, a heavier body paint can produce more ghosting prints than the craft paints. And it also depends on how you apply them and how quickly you take a layer. So if you put a little bit too much paint, it may be kind of mushy and it'll slide on you. So you've got to back down how much paint you put on there. Get that on there, do your print, and then either use more paint to lift the ghost or quickly try to lift it. Sometimes you can. I haven't had that much success with it. Here's another roll-off page, and I just think that'll be fun if I were to put that and then maybe make a pocket out of that gold metallic. Look how that looks on that page, and just add some images or anything else behind it. Good way to use your book pages too. Here's where I did the spools of threads again and was removing paint if it was a dark green, and then I did a light teal behind it, which lightened up that dark green. So you also have to remember too that some colors can be a little bit more transparent, and when you gel print them and you put down one layer, heavy body paint or acrylic heavy body paint. That's what it is. It's for painting canvases, whereas this is craft paint, and it's designed to paint paper and wood, and you can paint canvases with it, but it's not as robust and creamy as the heavy body paint. Acrylic paint. Heavy bodied acrylic paint. And then our favoritist ones coming up. I think this is my favorite one, where I did all those textures on the gel plate and let them dry, and then just kept adding more texture and let those dry, and then came back with a lavender and metallic gold to lift the paint. And so you get a little bit of that metallic here in a couple of spots, over here a little bit, and then you get the lavender that kind of mutes. But I don't know, it's just a cool, using the dryer ball that broke, this guy, that's where I got these little bitty dots. I like the way that looks. I have to remember to use that because it has a really neat effect. You know, using things you already have. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's session. I know I'm cutting it short. I am tired. I'm exhausted. I need to probably check my messages about Robin's cats. I hope you enjoyed today's session, just kind of playing around with different textures, using some stencils, using craft paint, using heavy body paint, using a pool noodle. I mean, we got all kinds of things. A paper towel. I love this one. I think these kind of are my favorites right here. This one and this one. How those turned out. All right, everybody. Here's what I asked of you. Say some prayers for those around you that you know, you love, you care about. And get in their business. If they're still smoking, tell them, hey, I love you, and I want you to be around longer. Quit smoking. Let's get you help. So you quit. And if you're the person that's smoking that has that muscle memory that you have to be doing something, now they make these, they're called Fume, F-U-M-E. I don't know if that's right or not. They're like fake cigarettes that have a scent in them, you know. But you get that motion, and so you can get away from smoking. Go to the doctor if you don't feel good, or if you notice that something has changed about your body that wasn't that way before. Go get checked out. Be kind to those you around you. You never know what somebody else is going through, what's happening in their life. It could be that they're going through a medical crisis. Their loved one is going through a medical crisis. Somebody is, on the brink of being homeless. You never know. So try to be kind and do something kind for somebody else. And love yourself. I think that's something as women especially we forget to do, that you have to love yourself. This is something Jennifer said too. If you know someone that lives alone, get in their business. And that's what I feel like I failed Robin because I didn't harass her. I'm not a person that will just constantly message people, partly because I get burned by people who don't reply back. And so then I just don't want to put the effort out. And at the same time, I've also, not known what somebody needed something. So I try to reach out and they don't ever reply. And I'm like, okay, well, let me know if you need anything. And I think sometimes people don't understand that it is okay to ask somebody else for help. Whatever it may be. Another one of my friends, Angela, that was here, I knew she had just had heart surgery and they were moving. And I said, okay, when are you doing this? I'm coming. And I went over and helped her move so she wouldn't have to. She didn't ask me to. I took it my initiative to find out and then help her. So talk to your friends, your family, your loved ones, your coworkers, whatever. Make a little effort because it will make a difference in this life. All right, everybody. Well, I'm going to get off here. I need to go for a walk because I'm sorely, well, not too bad on my limited on how many steps I took today because I've been on the phone a lot and driving. And I just want to thank y'all for being here. Get some exercise, walk. If you can barely walk, it's difficult, use a walker and make it a goal every hour to walk to the bathroom and back, whether that's 2 feet or 20 feet. Make it a goal that you get a small cup of water, you drink the water. When it's empty, you get up and you go fill it up. Do little things for yourself. Okay? Exactly, and that's what Jennifer just said. She had reached out to Robin as well, and she says, "Oh, I'm fine. I don't want to bother anybody. It is okay to bother them. Just get in their business." All right, everybody. Y'all have an amazing week, and know that you are loved and cared for. And if you need anything, I'm just on the internet, so you can just hit me up. Find all the places to get me. Thank you very much. You're welcome. You're welcome. Y'all have an amazing week. Lots of love, everybody. Bye.